What's up, YouTube? My name is Vic. I am the Brooklyn Watch Guy, and if this is your first time on my channel, this channel is all about watch buying, collecting, unboxings, and reviews in the affordable range, which I define as $1,000 or less. If you're into that, I invite you to stick around, watch the video. If you make it to the end, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you know every time I put a new video up. Alright, y'all, today we're going to be doing a review video on this guy right here. This is the Orient Neo Panda. Not to be confused with the chronograph version. This is not a chronograph, and we're going to get into that in a little bit as I talk about the watch. But this is a cool watch. Reason I bought this is, ironically, there was a Seiko watch that I wanted. A lot of you probably know which one it is. It's just a little too expensive for me, and you know, this one I felt was a good compromise. So without further delay, let's get into this review. All right, y'all, so this is the Orient Neo 70s Panda. This is model number or reference number WV001UZ. This is not to be confused with model number WV0041TX. That watch is a chronograph. This one is not a chronograph. Even though you will see it listed as a chronograph, it is not a chronograph. So I just want to make that very clear for anyone who's interested in this watch. It's not a chronograph. This one, you can have this one. It's actually about $100 less, depending where you buy it from the chronograph. I picked this one up for about $160, I believe. I don't remember. I had it for a few months now. But the chronograph runs for about $250 on Amazon. Like I said, this one about $150-ish, give or take, maybe up to $200 from what I've seen. I bought this particular one on eBay. You can find them on Amazon. But this watch, here's the catch. This is a JDM model, so you're going to have to import this. Not sold in the United States. Honestly, I ordered mine, and I got it within a week. So that's pretty fast for overseas shipping. But, you know, generally, you can expect to wait a few weeks for it to come in. But, yeah, not sold in the United States, JDM. So this watch, you won't see this one, you know, sold here all over the place readily like the chronograph one is. So let's get into the specs of the watch, because I do feel you get a lot of watch for the money. This watch is a case diameter. Now, I had to measure this on my own because the different listings out there that I saw, and keep in mind that a lot of the sellers that I was researching, you know, getting information for the watch was overseas, and the numbers were all over the place. But the watch itself, the case diameter with the crown measured at 44.9 millimeters without 42. And like I said, I measured that on my own with my own calibers just to be sure, because I've seen it listed at 48 all the way down to 42. So that's a big margin, you know, so I wanted to know for sure, for certain. But yeah, honestly, it wears small. It's small. It's a lightweight watch. Doesn't weigh a whole lot. 10.8 millimeters thick, 22 millimeter bandwidth, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. The band bracelet sucks. 50 millimeters lug to lug. You get stainless steel construction, mineral crystal, press clasp with 3 micro adjustments. And like I said, we'll talk about the bracelet here in a second. You have 50 meters of water resistance, no screw down crown. And this is a solar quartz movement, which is awesome. You never really have to worry about your battery dying on you. It'll just keep running and running and running as long as you give it enough sunlight. I didn't find too much about how long it'll last with a full charge. Honestly, I wear this enough where that's not an issue for me. You know, I wear, you know, a couple times a week, so I know it's going to get a charge. Bracelet. Let me get it off the stand here. This bracelet sucks. You see the micro adjustments there. You only get 3, but this bracelet sucks. It's very rattly. It tends to kink up sometimes and bind up, so it's not very comfortable. It does pull hair a little bit, and you're gonna want to replace that. So it does suck. Bracelet is trash. Also, the lume on the dial, it's not even worth. I mean, I'll mention it because it's part of the review, but there's really no lume. Hour minute hand are loomed, and you see those dots around the hour markers. Those are little dots of lume, literal dots. It's not the brightest lume in the world. It's not long lasting, but it's there, and I guess some is better than none at all. But that's the lume. Don't expect nothing much from it. what else? This is not a chronograph watch. As you can see from the dial, it may look like a chronograph at first glance, but it's not. This is a multi-function dial. And here you get your 24-hour clock. This is your date, and this is your day dial, sub dial. Um, like I said in the intro, you'll see this listed as a chronograph, but that's inaccurate. It is not a chronograph. That is a running seconds hand. It's not a chronograph. This top pusher sets your day, your date. I'm sorry. Top pusher is a quick set for your date. Bottom pusher is a quick set for your day of the week. One push moves it, one ahead. I actually really like that. It's really convenient. Crown, you only use the crown to set the time. The 24-hour sub dial sets automatically as you set the time. Yeah, very easy to use, very easy to set up. Overall, it is comfortable. You're going to want to do something about the bracelet. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I will probably put this in a nice leather, vintage leather strap. Give it a nicer overall look. Also, I really like how the day and the 24-hour clock, they have that neon greenish color. I think that's really cool, really pops. I think it looks better than the chronograph. That's my opinion. There is a red dial version of this guy, but those two hands are like an orange color. It looks cool, but I wanted this one because I wanted that new Seiko Panda, and it was just a little bit out of my reach. You know, I've mentioned this in previous video. Seiko is one of my favorite brands, probably next to Casio. But Seiko has been getting more and more expensive. They're becoming close to premium. And, it's like, I can't justify paying some of the money that they've been charging for their new watches a lot of the times, especially a lot of their newer stuff. Their new Panda is a very nice looking watch. But then when I found this guy was like 150. I was like, well, if I could save money, I'm always going to choose to save money. I get the same look, the same aesthetic, and it was a good compromise. I have no regrets. So that's why I ultimately went with this one. All the indices are applied, and you do get a seconds on the chapter ring. Watch is very easy to see, very legible. I will say though, the white on the dial is kind of like an off-white. Still looks good, still, really good looking, but it's not as white as it may look on camera. It's kind of off-white, kind of like I want to say like a light gray color, but it's it still looks good. The solar panels are on the sub dials, and you can see in good light, they are a little more transparent than they look on the camera, but it's not highly noticeable. Still, the watch it looks great overall. Honestly, very solid construction. My one minor gripe would be the loom and the bracelet. The bracelet is always something you could do something about, though. Not a huge deal, not a deal breaker. But let me put this guy on my wrist, show you what it looks like, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, and you can see it here on my wrist. Where it doesn't wear as big as its dimensions are. It's comfortable. It is a little loose for me, as I found that if I took off another link, it was going to be too tight. So I probably do have to use one micro adjustment to make it that much more comfortable and better fitting for me. But honestly, I don't plan to keep it on this bracelet. So I haven't really been in a rush to do that. But this is what it looks like on my wrist. You see, not a really big presence. Dimensions wise, it wears small. It wears small compared to what it's listed as. Comfortable watch. I do enjoy it. It is a looker, really nice piece. If you can wait a few weeks for it, hey, why not? But let me give you guys my final thoughts. All right, guys and girls, final thoughts on this guy, on the Orient Neo 70s Panda. I think this is a great buy from a trusted brand. And like I said, ironically, I bought this one because I wanted the Seiko, and the Seiko, it was just a little too expensive. Like I said, Seiko, over the past few years, I feel like they've been straying more and more towards that premium line of watches. Hey, and that's not a bad thing, right? You want to, because it's still a brand I'm going to put money into, right? But if you spend money, you want to spend money on a brand that you're going to get your money's worth. But as they get more and more expensive, I'm going to look for alternatives. That's just how I roll. And Orient is not a bad compromise. And ironically, Orient is owned by Seiko. It's owned by the Seiko Epson Group. So you're still getting, I mean, maybe it's not a Seiko in name, but in spirit, same quality. Orient does tend to give you a lot of good watch for the money. So it's not a bad compromise. So I think if you guys are looking for a Panda watch, like the Dan Henrys of the world and some of the other ones out there, the new Seiko, they may be a little on the expensive side. You want to save some money, give this guy a look. You won't regret it. It's a pretty good watch. It's comfortable. You can change the bracelet. You know, the bracelet is the one bad part, and you know, it'll work for you. I think you won't regret it. I certainly don't. I plan to have this one for a long time, and it filled that need for me. I wanted a Panda Dot watch, and I'm loving this one. So with that said, ladies and gents, I will see you on my next one. Peace.